Do we have any communications or questions from visitors? All right, then I think we'll move on.
All right. Well, we're excited tonight to have some of our students from Lake Bluff Elementary School share with the board some of the neat things going on in their school, and they're very excited to be here tonight, and I think it's a good thing for us to be able to have students come before the board and share some of the neat things that they're doing. So I will turn this over to Mrs. Overman to introduce what we're going to see. Yeah, I think so. And then I think...
Stand in front.
Up front?
Yeah, so they can't see. They're a little small.
Okay.
First we do this really loudly, but I won't do that in here. You're welcome. After we do it really loudly, I say, who's number one? We are. They are.
It's ready, yeah. I'm just going to hold it for
The first group that you're going to hear from, well, Mrs. Mukula, why don't you come up and you can introduce, they're going to do some special reports. 3 parts of their reports.
We have been studying African animals as we have studied Kenya. And so each of the children have researched and done a lot of work to find out much information about their African animals. So tonight they will share bits and pieces of the things that they have learned. So if I could have my explorers come on up and make a circle, half circles. Our first animal tonight is the leopards.
The species of the Zanzibar leopard is now extinct. As cubs grow, they learned how to hunt by pouncing on their mother's tail. Leopards can only come together to mate. Some leopards can survive in desert areas. Black panthers are leopards with black fur. My name is Lauren Ashley, and I'm studying the leopard. This book is called Amazing Leopards. Hello, my name is Mary Bernadette Petty. I am studying the leopard. The title of my book is Endangered Leopards. Leopards and black panthers can be born in the same litter. Leopards have held interest in people for hundreds of years. Leopards eat zebra, topi, meerkats, and goat. Leopards have huge bodies and long tails.
Our next animal will be the hyena.
Hi, my name is Allison Galliani, and my book is called The Cool Hyenas. They live in Kenya, they live in groups, they also live in the grasslands. They like to eat watermelon. Good evening, my name is Sarah Grace Mack, and I have a book to share with you called Hyenas. Looks like a hyena has black, gray, and brown fur. A brown hyena eats about 5.5 to 6 pounds a day of food. Hyenas can also eat eggs such as ostrich eggs. A baby hyena will dig a tunnel to protect themselves from a predator while their mama is hunting. Hyenas can weigh up to 82 to 190 pounds.
Wow.
Our next animal will be a wild dog.
My name is Grace Thomas. This is called Wild Dogs of the Game Reserve. When a wild dog kills a wildebeest or a gazelle, they tear them to bits. It's nature. Jackals are scavengers. They have tall ears. If you saw a wild dog from the distance, you might think it's a hyena. A wild dog is also called a painted dog. The Wild Dogs of Africa by Abatement. African wild dogs have light and brown fur. Wild dogs live under trees on the savanna because they get hot a lot. The wild dogs like to eat big animals like zebras and lions. Wild dog is also called painted dog. The female of the wild dog is the leader, and the teeth can be usually 1 inch.
Our next animal is the python.
Hello, my name is Jeremiah Lamb, and I studied about pythons, and my book is called The Awesome Pythons. Pythons have smooth skin on them. They were discovered in the dinosaur time. Some pythons can eat once a week. Pythons are the second biggest snake. They can grow up to 20 feet long. They can stay in shallow water for hours.
Wow.
And our last animal is the hippo. No, I'm sorry, not our last animal, our second to last.
Spectacular Hippos by Max Wazalowski. Hippos' teeth can grow up to 28 inches. I know. Hippos let birds sit on them. If hippos stay in the sun for a long, long time, they get sunburn. It has a really small tail. They eat nothing but grass.
Okay, and our last one is the cheetah.
Fast Cheers by Abby Jean Locascio. Some of the cheers live in Asia. Carnivores. They are carnivores. It bites the neck off it to kill it, then eat it. Cheetah moms teach their cubs to hunt. Cheetahs are the fastest animal in the world. There are only 15,000 cheetahs left in the world.
Thank you.
They got spirit. Yes, they do.
Thank you very much. Very impressive.
I also want to share with you that each of the kids actually have like a 6-page report, and we asked them to just highlight their 5 fun facts. So otherwise they could be here a little longer and more time. Thank you.
What grade
Nice
is
job,
that?
guys. Kristen Zhang is the 3 to 5 Spanish teacher, and she's got a short presentation to show you about what some of our kids have been doing in Spanish class.
I know that this year we've been working, for those of you who don't know, Spanish is redesigning the curriculum this year, and the foreign language team has been meeting once a month, and we really appreciate the time that you guys have given us. So I just wanted to show you a little bit of what our 4th and 5th graders have been able to do, and with our focus on speaking more Spanish rather than just reading and writing it. So if you can't see the projector, go ahead and move so that you can. There's sound too. It's about 5 minutes long.
¿Es largo o es corto? Corto. Biscuit necesita una inyección. Muy bien, Biscuit. Vamos, Biscuit. Hola, gato. Meow. El brazo. Woof, woof. Meow, meow. Gracias, Dr. Green. De nada. Hasta luego. Meow, meow. Woof, woof. Elfie. El médico. El chico va al médico. El chico y papá leer unos libros. El chico dice al médico, me duele la oreja. El chico dice la estoscopio está muy frío. El médico la Biscuit visita al médico. Y este, no tengo enfermo, solo es una revisión de rutina. ¡Fantástico! Dr. Green mira los ojos, las orejas y la boca y los dientes. ¡Bien! Describe tú necesitas inyección. ¡Au! Alfie!
Thank you. That was really nice. That was really great.
Gracias.
Great work. And our final one?
We are now going to hear from 7 of the math students from Mrs. Nash's class, along with Mrs. Krieger, who works with them on tessellation. Who's talking first? Just a second to get everything set up. Let's just put that for a second. And you want to face them. So.
I'm Wendy Krieger, the math specialist. I have one of the most exciting jobs because I get to go into the 4th grade classrooms and work on something that's my favorite, tessellations. And if you're kind of an age, you might remember tessellations as one of the favorite posters in college. And that's, I think, why it's one of my favorites. So after they've learned a lot of different things about geometry, we get to this aspect of it where we go in and do some enrichment and challenging activities. But I'm going to hand it over to them because they're going to tell you all about it after they introduce themselves. So you're going to start.
I'm Cami Diedrich.
I'm Allie Wicks.
I'm Catherine Turkledson.
I'm Willow Volkert.
I'm Sarah Borland.
I'm Grace Hardy.
And I'm Foster Thomas.
This year we explored transformational geometry. That's the study of geometric patterns that use translations, reflections, and rotations.
Translation is when the shape slides to another position without changing direction. Reflection is a congruent mirror image of the original shape. Rotation is when a shape turns on its axis.
We also explored tessellation. Tessellation means covering a flat surface with no gaps or overlaps.
Tessellations include artwork by M.C. Escher. Next, we're going to show you the steps we took to create our tessellations.
Start with a basic polygon. We used a rectangle. Our tessellations were translations. We drew a design on one side of the rectangle, cut it out, and translated it to the opposite side.
Next, we drew a design on the top or bottom edge of the rectangle, cut it out, and translated it to end up with our new shape.
We took the new shape and tessellated it, traced it on a piece of paper, matching it up like putting a puzzle together until the entire page was covered. We even went beyond the edges.
We evaluated the pages of shapes to decide what we thought they looked like, then added color and detail to reflect our idea. We had to remember that each shape must look the same to be considered a tessellation. Here are some of our translation tessellations.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Thanks to Mrs. Nash and the rest of the fourth grade teachers for letting us do that.
Thank you. Thank you, both students and staff, for sharing tonight with the board. It really shows the exciting work that's being done at the elementary school and some of the neat things that all of you are learning. So, again, thank you and congratulations. You're free to go, or you can stay for the rest of the meeting. But if you are willing to leave now or want to leave,
If you're willing. If you're able. If you're willing to stay. Tessellation on there? Somewhere. I missed that. Oh yeah, right there, under presentation, tessellations, yep.
Oh, so that maybe is her.
Okay, we'll continue with the meeting. Our next item is to recognize two people who are retiring from Lake Bluff District 65. And before we introduce them, I know we have someone who would like to share some thoughts about them. So, Jan, if you want to come forth.
I think it's appropriate if Joyce and Lisa sat in front. Just right there would be fine. I just want to be able to look at you. First of all, my own personal comments. I'm Jan Romito, for those of you who might not know me. I teach fourth grade with Joyce. I was privileged to teach with Lisa when she first started many years ago in third grade. And first I want to say these are two phenomenal teachers, and we're going to miss them. And I'll just start with that. But I polled our staff today and all the teachers, unbeknownst to you, thank you email, and we came up with a bunch of things that we have learned from Joyce and Lisa over the years. Number one, nothing should be taken for granted. Live every day to the fullest. Number two, love life. Be sure to refrigerate your crickets for a full 30 minutes before attempting to add them to your terrariums. You gotta admit. Get organized and keep track of it all. Or hold on to everything. You never know when you might need it or a colleague asks to borrow it. You can decide which one is which. Keep a good sense of humor in everything. Here's one. Never try to explain the multiple meaning of the word crown by looking down, pointing to the top of your head and saying, "What do you call this?" Because your class just might respond by saying, "Roots." We have also learned that there are peaks and valleys in life, but you can always show your passion for teaching. Also, be sure to prepare for Atwell, which is our outdoor education program. Prepare for Atwood well. Atwood well. Everyone needs their Gucci handbag, dress shoes for dinner, and designer jeans for hiking. I'm just going to tell you, your colleagues came up with these. I did not make these up. Let your students know that there is more to you than just being a teacher. Share yourself with them. Email is overrated. The best communication takes place face-to-face. Color code everything. Bling is good. Always maintain a good working relationship with your colleagues. We have learned that from both of you. Persevere even when your computer keeps crashing. Who would that be? We've learned that you can teach in a swing room, and you can do a good job doing it. We've learned how to make the bleeping rocking chairs out of clothespins. There's only one teacher who will do that, and the rest of us won't. We learned that a simple smile can make your day and the day of those around you. We've learned that a pocketbook is really a purse. We've learned that you can be a proud Packer fan even in Bears territory. We've learned that stories get better every time you tell them. We've learned that hot chocolate is good for what ails you. You just need marshmallows. And finally, we've learned that laughter is good and friends are to be treasured. And we treasure both of you. One more thing. I found a cute poem. This is called Once a Teacher, Always a Teacher. Don't you cry. Today we pause, and I did not write this. I got it off the internet, and if you want to know the author, it's Paul Berthold. Today we pause when we reflect. Our hearts tell us that we're correct. You will always be a teacher. Teachers really aren't retired. That's just how the brain is wired. You will always be a teacher. Oh. You have so much to share and give. It's just the way you really live. You will always be a teacher. If first teaching made you queasy, years of practice made it easy. You will always be a teacher. You may not need a word to say. Your light keeps shining bright each day. You will always be a teacher. The time has come. Your homework's done. We wish you ever so much fun, because you will always be a teacher. May you shine on in words and deeds the wisdom that this world needs. You will always be a teacher. And as we show appreciation, may you have this satisfaction. You will always be a great teacher.
Well, thank you. Very well put, very well put. Shelley, anything you'd like to add before I head in?
I'll just cry. I would just say I've only had 1 year with these two ladies. I'm sorry, I'm not in the microphone.
No, that's okay.
But it's been a really enjoyable year, and I have learned a lot from these two ladies as well. Thank you.
The Board of Education would like to thank both of you, and we'd like to recognize your efforts and all that you've done for the students and for our community here in Lake Bluff. Whereas Joyce Leginski, after serving 34 years in education, 2 years in North Chicago, Illinois, 8 years in Wadsworth, Illinois, and the last 24 years in Lake Bluff, Illinois, has decided to retire. And whereas it is the desire of this Board of Education, on behalf of its members, its faculty, and the community, to extend its sincere appreciation for her loyalty to this school district, and whereas she has dedicated herself to the instruction of the children of Lake Bluff School District for 24 years, demonstrating caring and compassion for each of her students, and therefore be it hereby resolved by the Board of Education, District 65, Lake Bluff, Lake County, Illinois, that there be extended to Joyce Leginski its appreciation for her contribution to the children of the school district, as well as its earnest desire that she may have many years of contented retirement. Thank you.
all of you. I've learned so much from you, and I value your friendships and all that you do for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we would like to thank Lisa Nash for her efforts on behalf of our students and the community here in Lake Bluff. Whereas Lisa Nash, after serving 15 years in education, all of which were in Lake Bluff, Illinois, has decided to retire, and whereas it is the desire of this Board of Education, on behalf of its members, its faculty, and the community, to extend its sincere appreciation for her loyalty to this school district, and whereas she has dedicated herself to the instruction of the children of Lake Bluff School District 65 for 15 years, demonstrating caring and compassion for each of her students, and therefore be it hereby resolved by the Board of Education, District 65, Lake Bluff, Lake County, Illinois, that there be extended to Lisa Nash its appreciation for her contribution to the children of the school district, as well as its earnest desire that she may have many years of contented retirement. Thank you.
I don't do very well. They all know that. Really, I should have taped it. Joyce, Joyce taught my oldest many months ago, before I was into teaching. And I always said she was the nuts and bolts. She was the nuts and bolts of the building, much like Jane Romita, Kathy Cushingford, Kathy Warfield. She really was the nuts, and Sue Burke. They were the nuts and bolts of the building. And you know what, to follow people like this is pretty cool. My kids were born here, went through the system, so I get to brag to all these younger parents who insist on calling me Mrs. Nash because I'm not much older than them, that I get to brag and say, this system works. This is a great system. And I don't know if I would have, if I could have easily taught anywhere else. It's the best.
Well, thank both of you. And just some advice from somebody who has retired once. You will enjoy it, and you never know, there's a market for interim teachers.
Can I say one more thing? To work with Bill Oakley. Oh, I've had the opportunity to work with Bill Oakley this year, who's going to be in the system. And he's a hard worker. He's a great guy, and I like the idea of more men in the building. And now we not only have Bill, we have Brett Kreiner, who's also joining. And you know, it's nice to see men in a building that was traditionally a female profession. It gives, not that it gives more credibility to it, but it gives a lot of balance to it. And they're going to be, I'm going to sub for them.
Okay, one of the things I'd like to do, again, thank you and congratulations. Thank you so much. Is introduce some people who you will approve later on in the agenda to hire as new employees in Lake Bluff District 65. So, Shelley, would you like to introduce them, or do you want me to? No, you can go ahead.
Lisa's already introduced.
Yeah.
Let me go to the side. First of all, I'm going to introduce. I'm sorry.
He's already been out.
Hello. I would first like to introduce the person that's going to be taking a third grade position. She is not a he. Samantha Winston. You want to stand up? And and then you've already been introduced to, but I will introduce you to them as well as their positions. Brett Kreiner is going to be teaching 5th grade next year. And Bill Oakley will be coming on board as a leave of absence for one of our teachers who will be leaving to have a beautiful baby, I'm sure. And you approved that he could start at the beginning of the year, which I appreciate and thank you for, because I think that'll make a really good transition. So these are our new staff for next year.
Thank you. Thank you, Shelley. And again, congratulations to the three of you. And again, you're all welcome to stay. We'll continue with the rest of the meeting. And like I said before, if you're willing to leave. And
A subtle way of saying you're excused.
Lisa left before my son got hurt because she was so good. Student teacher in Zach's class.
I know.
Welcome.
Okay. We'll move into the next part of the agenda. I would indicate to the board that I did have the chance to meet each one of these three and have a short interview meeting discussion with them before we brought them. It's a practice that I've followed, and I enjoyed the conversations that I had with each of them, and I think they're strong additions to the faculty for the district. So that takes us down to reports. PTO report. I think, Mary Jane, you were going to summarize for that?
Kate isn't able to be here this evening, so she did send me an email, so I will just give a quick summary of her report. I'm certain that I won't do it as well as Kate would have, but I'll do my best here. Next year's directory will have a computer and a phone app. The PTO will print copies for those families who don't have computer access, and then parents would also be able to print out their own copies if they would rather have it on paper as opposed to electronically. There will be a summer reading program this year at both schools, sponsored by the PTO. Information will be coming home on that by May 31st. There are still several positions open in the PTO for officers, so please contact Kate Amaral or Jerry Garrity if you're interested. And the spirit wear sale items will be coming home with the students on May 24th. Quickly, at Lake Bluff Elementary, the spring book fair, which was today, apparently was a huge success. The variety show is May 30th, and the food day, which would have been June 1st, since we don't need lunch now, since that's a half day, that food day will now be Thursday, the 24th, this week, and the food day that was scheduled for Friday will still happen. And then at Lake Bluff Middle School, we've got graduation coming up on June 8th, and the PTO participates with that in terms of a reception. And then I know myself that Teacher Appreciation Week was a big success at both buildings, and between the board and the big PTO, or the district PTO, and then the two building PTOs, I know that the teachers were treated to something each day, sometimes lunch, sometimes dessert, sometimes snacks. And then the last thing Kate had was that the prizes for the Lake Bluff Middle School versus Lake Bluff Elementary School basketball game are being provided by PTO. I remember last year that was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. I just have a couple of short items. One, this time of year is, the busiest time of the school year for school administration and staff as we're winding things down. And, we've got promotion coming up, or graduation, we've got trips, we've got last-minute discussions, we've got changes. And just one of the things I would encourage is for people to have patience, and we will make it through the next 2 weeks. Or 3 weeks successfully, but it is that time of year when a lot of things happen that don't happen during the rest of the year. And sometimes, there is some impatience, and sometimes there are discussions, but just a reminder to everyone. And I'm going to say more at the June board meeting, but I just would like to offer right now, as the school year winds down for me, it's been a great year here, and we've accomplished a a lot more than I thought we would, and I think in a very successful fashion. And so I just want to thank the board and congratulate them for working with me this year to accomplish all those things. I also want to mention to you that we found out today that Lake Forest District 67 will also be adopting Agile Minds as their math program. So for the first time in a while, we'll be on the same page, so to speak. And I think that will be very helpful as we both move kids into the high school arena. The communication between Andy and Joanne this year has really gone well, and I was very excited to hear that. A little update on the chiller. We are still on target to have the installation of the equipment begin June 4th, be finished by June 7th. I have had communication with the people that live next to the middle school, and we did assure them that the chiller wouldn't be operating over the Memorial Day weekend, and that it does shut off at 5 in the evening, and we're certain that we'll have that equipment installed and the noise situation remediated in a couple of weeks. And the final thing is just a reminder to the board, there won't be an update this week. I'll be out of town on Friday and late Thursday, so I don't think there'll be much between now and then. So that concludes my report.
Great. The only thing I wanted to say is I did mention that the variety show at the elementary school is on May 30th, and I had the opportunity to attend the concerts at the middle school this past week, last week it was, both the band and the chorus, and it's always amazing to see how our kids perform. Not only are they talented, but as we all know, they're also well coached. So those are always fun to see. So I'm sure the variety show will be a lot of fun.
I would agree.
Okay.
Okay. That takes us down to new business, and the first item, and only item, is 8th grade graduation, which is Friday, June 8th. We need to determine board participation, and I guess, I don't know if you all participate, or a couple of you, or how you do it, but I just thought I would get educated here as to...
Typically 2.
2?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
I turned last year, so...
If they had kids involved, it was
I think I might like to participate this year.
Okay.
Okay.
We thought your name might go on the list.
Okay, and if it's 2, then we need one more.
I'm happy to. I haven't, unless there's someone else who'd like to.
Next year for me.
Okay, Al and Mary Jane, it will be. All right. Thank you, thank you. All right, that takes us down to action, and the first item under action is the approval to employ an occupational therapist. And I need a motion for the Board of Education to approve to employ an occupational therapist in the district at .41 FTE in the salary amount of $40,000 for the coming school year.
So moved. Second.
Discussion. I will point out that we currently contract with NSSED for these services now for approximately the same amount of time, and it was our thought that we could save money by employing our own person, and we were very fortunate enough to find someone who will work with us. And so we are able to save money of approximately $8,000, almost $9,000 by doing it this way. So I just wanted to inform you of that.
Any questions or discussion?
Nope.
Okay. Alfie, roll call.
Susan Ryder?
Yes.
Mark Berry?
Yes.
Leanne Charlo?
Yes.
Eric Wagoner?
Yes.
Al Pfeifhouse? Yes. Terry Carney?
Yes.
Mary Jane Brady?
Yes. All right, so the motion to employ the occupational therapist carries.
Very good. And I was searching for my one document for the second one. Second one is personnel recommendations. We need a motion for the Board of Education to approve the personnel recommendations per the attachment. And I wanted to be able to read the salary amounts that...
I don't have those on here, but just...
Huh? Yeah, and, oh, here it is, never mind. Sorry about that. The first one, we did the occupational therapist. The first one is Samantha Winston. The salary amount next year will be $40,500. Brett Kreiner, the salary amount will be $40,500. And Bill Oakley, and the salary amount will be $46,500. So we need a motion to employ those people to that effect.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Any discussion?
So what's the difference between the salary rates? Is it an education?
Mr. Oakley has a master's degree. They're all first-year beginning teachers, but he has a master's degree. The other two are at bachelor's.
That's what I thought. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other? Roll call.
Eric Wagner.
Yes.
Leanne Charlot.
Yes.
Mark Berry.
Yes.
Susan Ryder.
Yes.
Mary Jane Brady.
Yes.
Terry Carney.
Yes.
Al Pfeifhouse, yes.
Okay, next item is approval of stipend for a certified school nurse. I need a motion for the board to approve the stipend of $1,500 for the certified school nurse for the extra responsibilities, which would include case manager for our 504 plans for medical issues, case management for diabetic children, case management for severe allergy students, to attend early childhood team meetings to review medical concerns and status, and to attend problem-solving team meetings monthly to update the staff regarding health issues of concerned children.
So moved.
Stipend is
It's a stipend, yes.
$1,500, right?
Correct, for the year.
Is there a second?
Leanne moved.
So moved, yeah.
Second. Any discussion or questions?
Will the certified school nurse serve both the elementary and the middle schools?
Yes. For those responsibilities that I
Specific
listed, yes.
responsibilities. And otherwise, she is assigned at one of the two.
The elementary building, correct.
Any other? How can we have roll call?
Terry Carney.
Yes.
Mary Jane Brady.
Yes.
Susan Ryder.
Yes.
Mark Berry.
Yes.
Leanne Charlot.
Yes.
Eric Wagner.
Yes.
Al Pfeifhouse, yes.
Next item is to approve to replace floor tile at Lake Bluff Middle School. We need a motion for the board to approve the contract with Superior Remodeling to replace the floor tile at Lake Bluff Middle School for a cost of $32,720.
So moved.
Second.
Any
Discussion.
or questions?
This is to replace the floor tile in all of the common areas at the middle school. We're doing a 2-year program here. The following summer, we'll look at classroom spaces, but this is common areas.
So is the bid that we received for both summers or just the single?
This is just for summer of 2012, what you're approving here for the installation of the new tile. When we get down to the asbestos abatement, that is to cover the 2 summers.
Oh, I see. Thank you.
It's one bid, but it's for the 2 separate years.
Any other discussion? Al, can we have roll call?
Terry Carney.
Yes.
Al Pfeifhouse. Yes. Eric Wagner.
Yes.
Leanne Charlot.
Yes.
Mark Berry.
Yes.
Susan Ryder.
Yes.
Mary Jane Brady.
Yes.
Okay, the next item is the appointment of treasurer for the 2012-13 school year. We need a motion that the Board of Ed approves the appointment of Jane Laird, Director of Business Services, as the treasurer of the School District 65 for 2012-13.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I don't know.
You can talk about it.
Any other discussion?
I take it this is a formality that we have to go through each year?
Yes.
She
Ma'am, it
has the
is.
qualifications.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Quite certain of that.
Ready?
I think we are. Al?
Leanne Charlot.
Yes.
Eric Wagner.
Yes.
Al Pfeifhouse, yes. Terry Carney.
Yes.
Mary Jane Brady.
Yes.
Susan Ryder.
Yes.
Mark Berry.
Yes.
You just squeaked in, Jane.
Okay, next item is approval of employee insurance benefits. We need a motion for the board to improve the employee insurance benefits for 2012-13 at an increase of 1.78%.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Jane, anything you want to add?
Just that we were thrilled to death to get this renewal at a 1.78% on the individual premium. We did receive information yesterday that our loss ratio for this year was 229%. So we're thrilled that we've really not been hit with a huge increase. So.
And is this the same benefit package?
It's exactly the same benefit package. We didn't need to make any changes. We have informed the staff of the new rates pending board action this evening. This is open enrollment time. They have, I believe, another week to make any changes. As of yet, nobody's moving, nobody's adding dependents. everybody's kind of staying.
This is the first year of the collective bargaining agreement where the teachers will actually contribute up to 3%.
Correct. They will contribute 3%, which for them is, for this next year, is $23.75 per month.
Any other discussion or questions?
How does our overall cost change, given that some people get the 1.78 increase, but we also get employees paying a certain portion of it? It strikes me that perhaps we're about level from last year.
It is very close to level, and I probably have some spreadsheet somewhere, but it is really close to level. And what we were kind of waiting for is to see, how many, if any, would add dependents at open enrollment time, and we're just not seeing any movement, and they've only got another few days left. It's still very expensive to add dependents, even.
And I see on the information that you gave us that there's three different ways to add dependents. One is employee plus spouse, the other is employee plus children, and then the whole family.
Yes.
And what you're saying is people haven't, en masse anyway, moved from individual coverage to family coverage.
No,
They
no,
have a few more
no.
days.
They have a few more days, but they've had this information now for a week and a half.
And I think what you're referring to is the cost for them went down slightly, actually, in those three plans that I
We
just
picked up a
identified.
bigger percentage. The district picked up a bigger percentage, went from 25% to 50% of the dependent costs.
And so we were
But
interested.
yeah, but it's still, to the employee, it's still an expensive option to add family. So we're not seeing, so far we haven't seen anybody
No one has
make a
switched
change.
so far.
No.
It'll be interesting to know the update on that next.
Absolutely.
next month.
We're going to know by June, into the first week of June. But
So
so
we'll
far,
bring that
nothing.
back to the board in June.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, Hal?
Terry Carney.
Yes.
Mary Jane Brady.
Yes.
Susan Ryder.
Yes.
Mark Berry.
Yes.
Leanne Charlo.
Yes.
Eric Wagner.
Yes.
Al Pfeifhouse, yes.
Next item is approval of bid for asbestos abatement. We need a motion for the board to approve the bid for asbestos abatement with SBE for an amount of $75,000.
72.
72.
So moved?
Second.
Discussion.
This is related to the floor tile work because a lot of the mastic, not that we have a little bit of asbestos tile, but most of the asbestos is in the mastic under the existing tile. We'll have to abate that before Superior would come in and install new tile. So this work will be done first. And we bid it out both years. Our consultants in Byron indicated it would really be to our benefit cost-wise to get these people to bid on both summers and get them booked. And it's a really competitive time right now.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that's what I was mistaken. And so I take it there's not any asbestos remediation that needs to happen in the classrooms, which is next summer's work? Is that?
There will be.
There will be as
yes.
well?
And
But that we
this
just have-
bid incorporates both summers' works. So this year and the
And we'll
following
be
year.
tiling next summer too?
Yes, we will be installing new
so-
tile in the classrooms area, yes.
Classrooms, okay.
Yeah.
So both will go hand in hand?
Yes.
Jane, I was just curious, the reasoning of splitting it into 2 summers, is it just not having enough time to do it all? in one
Time,
summer?
and to make sure we can get it all done, yeah, absolutely.
Is that a function of the amount of precautions that need to be taken?
Yeah, and with removing asbestos floor tile is not a huge job. Easy for me to say, I don't have to do it, but it's not, but time-wise, for us to do basically the entire building in summer, we just didn't want to have that time crunch with
As I
everything.
understand it, nothing else can be taking place in that particular area.
Basically,
All
yes.
that's going on.
Correct.
I just wanted to point out, thinking back to one of the professional hats I used to wear a long time ago, professional estimator in an engineering firm, that the spread between the top 3 bids was less than $4,000, which, as an estimator, that's incredibly reassuring.
Well,
That
with
makes you know that you're not getting.
With
taken
asbestos,
advantage
you can get a huge spread
As
from
we
top
did.
to bottom. It's not unusual, but yeah, for the low 3 to be that close was.
We
was
did bid out, we have numbers from 6 people, I'm looking at the sheet in front of me, and the high bid was another 20,000 above.
Yeah.
More than $25,000 high of where we're going, so.
The 3 that were the lowest were all within very small.
That's really good. To have that kind of percentage, that's great. That tells you you're not being taken advantage of.
Right.
Any other discussion?
Okay.
Yeah.
Mark Berry.
Yes.
Terry Carney.
Yes.
Eric Wagner.
Yes.
Susan Ryder.
Yes.
Mary Jane Brady.
Yes.
Al Pfeifhaus. Yes. Did I leave somebody out? Leanne Charlot.
Yes.
My apologies. When I go off script, it just...
Okay, the next item is approval of evening custodial services. We need a motion for the Board of Ed to approve the contract renewal of GCA services to provide our evening custodial services in the amount of $279,943.14 for next year. That's a 2.8% increase, or approximately $7,830.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
This is just the renewal of an existing contract?
Correct.
So it's not something at this point we can bid out and look for other
This
options?
is something we wouldn't want to bid at this moment because this contract starts July 1, and we're starting as soon as school's out, as in we're in the throes of what a big part of these people do. This is something we want to take a look at, like in bid out in January and February. We talked 67, 115, and 65 bid this out several years ago together.
Okay.
We talked this past year, but we're very happy with GCA. We had one more year of renewal on this contract. We're very happy with the services, and so because they are also in the middle of negotiations and everything at the time, we felt it was best to go ahead and renew, and next year we'll certainly take a look at.
How many years have you been working with these guys?
Well, this recent contract we bid out in '09, and they won the contract, but we had GCA prior to that several years as well.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
Leanne Charlot.
Yes.
Mark Berry.
Yes.
Susan Ryder.
Yes.
Mary Jane Brady.
Yes.
Terry Carney.
Yes.
Al Pfeifhaus, yes. Eric Wagner.
Yes.
Okay. Next item is to amend the 2011-2012 school calendar. We need a motion for the board to amend the calendar to reflect the early release day changes and changing our half-day from May 23rd until June 1.
So moved.
Second.
Any
Discussion.
This is just reflecting the bike race that's in
That is
town to
correct.
better accommodate that.
That is
right?
correct.
It's on June 1st, or to move it out at
12:30.
11:30?
Yes.
11:30 and,
About 11:15, 11:30.
okay, both of those.
11:05 and 11:30. We have to have buses even to the east side and out by 11:30 for the elementary kids because the road closures start at 11:30.
Now, we'll tell you that all of our staff will then be at the elementary school for a workshop on health and wellness.
Okay.
Susan Ryder.
Yes.
Mark Berry.
Yes.
Leanne Charlot.
Yes.
Eric Wagner.
Yes.
Al Pfeifhaus, yes. Terry Carney.
Yes.
Mary Jane Brady.
Yes.
Next item is consent agenda. I need a motion for the board to approve the following items on the consent agenda. Regular meeting minutes, April 24, 2012. Special meeting minutes, May 1, 2012. Committee of the Whole meeting minutes, May 8, 2012. Closed session meeting minutes, April 24, 2012. Closed session meeting minutes, May 8, 2012. Destruction of closed session tapes for August 26, 2010. P-card report, bills payable, treasurer's report, activity report.
So moved.
Discussion.
There is one minor correction.
Okay.
For the minutes on April 24th. It's just a typo. The meeting was called to order at 6:51. So it's just a typo that we can correct if that's
Okay.
possible. April 24th, the meeting was called to order at 6:51. There's just an extra 9 in there. So it's just a typo.
The computer did it.
Is there any discussion on the other items? So can we approve these with the correction?
Yes. I mean, normally on a consent agenda, you pull one, but I think just because it was a typo, that I think that's acceptable.
So we can approve the items
Yes.
on this consent agenda with the one correction to the
Yes.
start time on the April 24th meeting?
Correct.
Minutes. Okay?
Susan Ryder.
Yes.
Mark Berry.
Yes.
Leanne Charlot.
Yes.
Eric Wagner.
Yes.
Al Pfeifhaus, yes. Terry Carney.
Yes.
Mary Jane Brady.
Yes.
Next item is old business. First item is to establish a date for a facilitated workshop between the new superintendent and the Board of Ed related to evaluation and roles and responsibilities. When I sent out a query to the board, Mark sent back some dates that would be conflictual with him. We took a look at those and contacted Barb Toney and Dr. Sophie, and when we matched all of that together, we came up with 2 dates.
Good.
July 17th or August 21st. So,
August 21st is a maybe.
it's a maybe, but July 17th is good. Now, I will tell you that I will be gone then, but I don't need to be part of that discussion because this is really between the board and Dr. Sophie relative to her role. So,
Did you say the time for this meeting?
I assume that it would be in an evening, you know, like the
6.
time, 6 kind of thing.
July 17th, okay with everyone?
That works for me.
It works.
All right. So shall we say form up at 6 o'clock?
Ooh, all right.
6 o'clock?
Very good, very good.
Wow.
We will follow up on that tomorrow morning.
At the district office?
At the
right?
district office, yes, at the
Is it
district.
possible to do 6:30?
Sure.
Sure. Okay. All right, second item is to establish a date for a strategic planning workshop. And one of the things I wanted to get a little clarification from the board on, this came out of our discussion last time, and this isn't to do strategic planning, but I think the board had weighed in about having kind of a preliminary discussion to try and plan for strategic planning. And so, am I correct in that?
My suggestion really was time to define the process as well as identify known content and get it, kind of get it together. Not that that would be the exclusive content, but over the last couple of years, we keep saying, well, we'll do that with a strategic plan, we'll do that with a strategic plan, and make sure that we get these items identified and they don't fall through the cracks. That was my thought. And then outline the process. I wouldn't think it would take a terribly long time to do this.
Well, we should set a date. Dr. Sophie will be here.
I wondered if it would even be possible to use one of the committee of the whole meetings for that, if we have one in the summer that's going to be a real light agenda normally.
That's a good suggestion.
Or to use a good portion of it, maybe, and just
Yeah.
put a couple of other.
Oh, yeah, we could
items
always
on it.
That's a good suggestion. You talking about July meeting?
Sounds good to me, Al.
Maybe August.
August?
I think that Jean is going to want to, at least the way her strategic plans have worked in the past, to work from a set of goals. So I think she's probably going to want to talk to us, and I think she probably is going to want some time to just get here and settle and have her meetings with us. And
So an August committee of the
I
whole?
would think maybe an August committee of the whole if we
Okay.
could. And then
Okay.
I think we could
Is
be
that
ready for
agreeable?
September.
Yeah, we haven't scheduled any of those yet, so, right. We don't have dates for those,
Well, the committee of the whole scheduled,
is it?
but not actually.
No. Next month, we will set board dates for next year. So, no, you're right, the dates for next, it could even be on another night.
Well, yeah, I guess it's possible.
That would be crazy.
No, I'm just.
We're used to doing something on Tuesdays around here.
No, no, we'll set those next month at the.
So the strategic planning workshop, we're hoping for the committee of the whole meeting in August, maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Oh, very good.
Some time, Al.
The last item under old business is district website task force, and we had our last meeting as a task force this week, and I'll let either Jane or Al or Mary Jane summarize, and if not, then I'll add a few things, but anything you want to add as to where we ended up and where we're headed from here?
I think Jane wants to tweet those to us.
Well, I want to talk to you about the URLs and the tweets and the blogs and the...
Have you got your subscriptions set up there?
For the calendars. I would say something. There were, as we said before, a lot of good people involved here, and Bill Chapin, who has been leading the task force, did a lot of work to let us have hands-on experience with two of these finalist website. What would you call them? Website what?
Designers?
What are they?
Designers?
Yeah, designers, provide, yeah.
Well, but they also
Provide hosting?
provide, yeah.
Yeah.
They're really the providers, I guess would be the accurate name. But the teachers who were involved spent a lot of time with this. They created pages. They really through the ringer and asked a lot of great questions, and Bill had asked a lot of questions of both providers, and I think the process really was pretty thorough. And a lot of neat options that we probably won't get to the first year as we settle in with the website, but that'll be available as time goes on and people get better at it, and as we decide who's going to be maybe the go-to person for the website. But I think there's a lot of flexibility. And
one of the things that came out is at the very end of the meeting, we asked all of the participants to express their choice between Headline and Sharp School, and it was interesting because the group hadn't really talked to each other outside of the meeting, and everybody supported pursuing Sharp School as the vendor to take a look at. And so we did generate quite a list of questions that Bill is going to follow up with Sharp School personnel on before we go any further and bring anything in terms of a recommendation to the board, because there were some things that some of the staff members questioned that they couldn't find out. So Jane and I will be meeting with Bill over the next couple of weeks, and at some point, whether we're ready in June or not, probably would like to bring something to you for action to support a contract with Sharp School. I will tell you that the closest district that uses Sharp School and has been very satisfied with it is my old district, Gurney District 56. So if you're interested in going to their website, you can see what a Sharp School website looks like. Now, there's different renditions, and you can customize it however you want, but that is a nearby district that uses Sharp School as their host.
I think one of the more significant follow-ups that Bill was going to do was to talk with one or two districts, at least one or two districts extensively, who have Sharp School, particularly about their transition and the support and the whole 9 yards, just to make sure that we understand how much effort and how many people might be involved here. Because school websites are pretty extensive these days, and a lot dependence on them functioning well.
I had a question about it. I was curious if the sites that you were looking at were going to offer us either the ability to do online registration, or if not, yes, they do?
Oh, yes.
Okay, good.
Oh, yes.
Because I remember last year the board talked about this, and it was like a $35,000 expense to do just that, so that's great to hear.
No, if you go to Gurney District 56 website, you'll see that they have online registration.
Much better economies of scale this way. It's great.
I'm sorry?
Economies of scale, rolling it into a larger site,
Right.
migration is great.
I mean, they have all sorts of notifications and survey opportunities. So, I mean, it's very user-friendly to parents. And one of the big things on the front page is calendar, and you hit that calendar and you can see a listing of everything going on at all of the schools in the district.
And the website will also have a place for people to report bullying in some fashion, yeah?
Oh, yeah. No, it's very interactive, and it has the capacity to be. So that was just an update for you, but we will probably be bringing it to you for the June action meeting. And with that, there are no other items on the agenda, so we would look for adjournment.
could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah, perfect.
Eileen was looking for 8 o'clock. I told her 8:30.
Oh, ding, ding, ding. Just
8 o'clock.